Okay, part three on this one here because I had to get some stuff set up. I had to talk about this stuff because it was driving me crazy at this point. Especially when I was coming across videos on YouTube that was pissing me off, especially from one particular guy. I thought I had a little bit of respect for him, but then I was trying to read him up and thinking, you've gone over to the rabbit hole. I was talking about racism at this point over here. I was also talking about Passover and trying to tell how far back racism goes. Well, if we're dealing with the ancient texts of our religious tomes out there, they'll be telling us the past at this point, what they had perceived, what they had recorded. Now, keep this in mind. They've been handed down verbally, had to be remembered exactly until they came to the point where they were writing things down left and right, and then things could be actually added or interpreted or misinterpreted one way or another. But we got to understand that ancient civilizations out there, we're relying on whatever kind of information we can. Getting back to Passover at this point. What was Passover? Passover was the angel of death passing over the land of Egypt. Those who had lamb blood on their lentils and windowsills were considered exempt from being killed. Pharaoh during that time had the tribe of Israel used as slaves, and it was Moses, according to the tomes, with God's instruction, told people, put the stuff on your windowsills and door ledges to tell the angel of death, this ain't your property. You can't come in here and kill people. And it went down. People had the blood on there. They were engaging in a celebratory feast of sorts, bitter herbs and unleavened bread. The herbs represented the slavery and the bitterness that they endured, and the bread was made. Bread is of representative of haste, that they'll be delivered, and they were. They walked out, and they tried to form their own nation. Took them long enough, according to the tomes, that they ticked off God long enough. Did something stupid and had to pay for it. Older generation being bred out, and then the new generation has to take up the slack and follow God's commandments. Through hardship, they prospered. But there was also resentments against these people, this tribe or that tribe, regardless of either the skin or religion or politics, whatever. They still had it back then. If you were Hebrew, you're open season. According to what the ancient texts, the Dead Sea Scrolls, have been telling us these days, even during this modern time. Interpreted, misinterpreted, reinterpreted again. And these days we have anthropological, if I can use that particular terminology right there, of showing and telling people that we have gone through a lot of changes ever since mankind has been moving from one location to another location. Uh, physical adaptations. Physical adaptations happen because you're moving from one location to another location. And your body has to adjust to the damn thing, and it took generations. It took many generations for it to be that much of a difference between skin coloring or the narrowing of the eyes, behavior patterns. Anyone studied anthropology? I hadn't. Maybe I should have a long time ago. It would have been something to study for a science instead of geology, but I wanted physical sciences. But, maybe in another university I could study anthropology 101 and just understand what the hell's going on even further. Help me with social studies a bit. Help me with the historical references. That would also help me out with the political stuff. There's always a connection these days when you're getting one particular subject because it has to deal with one thing or another thing and another thing and another thing. Education does that to a person. So what was Passover? I'm not trying to be facetious and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm sure not trying to insult the Jewish folks. I'm not. I'm trying to get a clarification here. I'm trying to get a clarification what's so damn important and what's not important at this point. Belief, faith, yeah. Traditions, yeah. Tell us who and what we are, where we came from. But also, we can make our own new traditions to modify the old ones. Hopefully, we can move forward a little bit, but still maintain a link to the past. Unfortunately, people don't see it that way these days. I see people trying to say, well, preserve this little thing over here, preserve this little thing over here. We have to be pure about it, we have to be pure about it. And I'm thinking, oh, you jackasses. You don't even understand. Nothing is pure anymore. You want to put it in scientific terminology, will throw them off like crazy. Ask him something. Where the hell do we get our water from? I'm sorry? Where did the earth get its water from? It created it. Do you not understand science? I could probably talk to a lot of physicists or astronomers, astrophysicists, biologists about the origin of H2O on Earth. They'll probably give me some of their other theories at this point over here, but if they happen to come up with a unified theory telling me, or commonly agreed to, that we got our water from the universe, and that the water landed on Earth in many forms as the Earth was forming and developing. Now, as was explained in science classes, even in geology, I'm a geologist, science, and so is astronomy, we're dealing with a planet going through upheavals. There was no oxygen. There was hydrogen. But there was also sulfur. There were poisonous gases for us oxygen breathing people to deal with. But there was no plant life unless we actually had beginning basics of it. And it took them millions of years for us to get the water from different sources outside the solar system in forms of meteorites that actually had water elements in there. We had water raining from the sky into the planet. But we also had development of life once we get the water established on the planet to help the biological necessities to grow. We had to have life. Now, some people say it was cosmically created. Maybe it was created spiritually. Who knows? I'm not going to argue that one. But all I know is we had life on the planet developing. We had oxygen developing because we had early plant life growing, being seeded somehow. And the atmosphere changed. And it changed the weather patterns like crazy. Once you get the oxygen into the atmosphere, you're getting change in how the weather is going to be. Every time I keep seeing things like this, it kind of fascinates me a little bit more. Makes me more appreciative of what life is like. and life is like right now, and how we're screwing things up left and right. But why are we still focusing on white power? This conservatism crap just doesn't work. People want to set behavior, that they want to rule everybody and tell them that you have to follow our way because we say so. So it's us versus them. Their fears, their phobias, their traditions of force of pattern on people. They want it back. We should rule. We need to rule. We have to rule over these people. Do we? Do we really need this kind of crap? It's like if I'm going to have that kind of attitude over here in this particular neighborhood here of mine, in this apartment complex, that's not going to be accepted at any rate because we have a multi-ethnic, pluralistic uh, environment here in this apartment complex. Different people have different ways of believing in things, and they are different in many ways, shapes, and forms. So to see if I'm going to be coming across here like a big, well, I know I already am large anyway physically, but if I'm going to be coming across here and saying, look at me, I'm a big guy over here, I'm going to tell you what to do because I'm going to use my size to intimidate you. I'm going to use something here to intimidate the living crap out of you. You will listen to me because I say so. I really had to been born with a damn ego malfunction during that time, or be forced to indoctrinated during that time. Said, "Well, I'm better than everybody else." Well, I'm not better than everybody else. That's for damn sure. But unfortunately, being indoctrinated all the damn time, forced to listen to the damn crap, and not getting anyone else's feedback or seeing anything else differently, I'm stuck with a one particular viewpoint. I'm stuck with that. I am superior to everybody else because I have been told and raised and brainwashed and bullshitted that way because that's how it is. So now I gotta force this on everybody. They will listen and bow before me because I am great. Really? Why? Dare you insult me like that, mortal? Okay. We have a problem then, boys and girls. We have a problem. Because now I'm going to be dealing with egomaniacs with that kind of level of malevolency. It's bad enough when I have a gang member living in this damn apartment complex out here. He had changes and he reverted back to a gang member again, mentally, but trying to be a productive society. But he still has the elements there. I still have to not deal with the schmuck. And I'm well aware of who and what the guy is. One time as a friend, and now he's a pain in the ass. And I keep hoping for the best on this schmuck anyway. Because eventually he's going to have to wake up. But if he doesn't wake up, then he's stuck with what he's got, and he's got to deal with it for the rest of it. How long it ever takes. But for me, on the other hand, I just have to keep wishing him well and praying for his ass at this point over here. Because I sure as hell don't like dealing with that kind of superior attitude. And I have to keep myself in check these days. I have to keep myself in check. I have to keep the humility and humbleness at this point over here because I know I'm not superior to anybody else, despite the fact I may have been told otherwise a long time ago. But John, you're this and you're that and you're this and you're that. Yeah, but I'm not a special asshole, okay? I'm not all that more intelligent than the next schmuck because I haven't seen that much demonstrated in the first place. Yeah, I was creative with my Lego, big deal. Told stories about this damn stuff. I read interesting books, big deal. Doesn't make me all that much smarter than the next schmuck next to me. And yeah, I call him a schmuck because we're all schmucks. We're going to be believing that we're all superior to everybody else, and we really got to be schmucks. I know I have to be reminded of that on a constant basis. I'm full an idiot. They say human. Well, screw it. Even humans can be the most egotistical. Well, actually, we're not. We are the egotistical bastards in the universe. Or megalomanias. We want to control, dominate, and freak out people left and right. We want to tell them that we are special and the universe is out there for us to conquer it. Holy shit, are we in trouble? We write stories about this on a constant basis. We live history like this on a constant basis. We see it, but we don't pay attention to either one of them. We don't pay attention to the frickin' writers. We don't pay attention to history. We just deal with our own mental head games at this point. So naturally, I can keep putting Passover here because Passover means something. You got to put it into a different metaphorical example here because what does Passover represent? Passover to me represented people escaping a regime, a mindset, a pattern, something that forced people to be downtrodden upon until something happened where they were able to be lifted up and saying, okay, enough of that. We're going to do it our way this time. And we're going to tell the guy who's giving all the commands at this point over here, he gave us permission to get the hell out of here. We're getting the hell out of here because we're too damn troublesome. But I have to put it into a context here. I have to put it into a perspective. Because the mindset I'm saying is us versus them. The superiority, the ego, the megalomania that is abound, even with the human race, on a constant basis. Doesn't matter which particular religion we're in. Doesn't matter which particular skin color we got. Doesn't matter. We're still that way, one way or another. You look at history. You look at history in general. You look at it, not specific things, but you look at it in general to get an understanding what the hell we are. They say, well, we're human beings. That should tell us something. No, it doesn't. It tells us what kind of creatures we are. But it doesn't tell us who and what the hell we are. We're control freaks. Some of us want to live and let live. That's fine. The rest of us want to control and dominate and screw you all. Because we have an ego, we have a desire, a need. We have manifest destiny for the entire existence here. We will get it all. One way or another. We will control you. And we will use you and abuse you because it makes us feel happy. People keep forgetting this left and right. People don't understand this left and right. This is why I study in college like crazy. The political science can tell me only the things about how the processes work left and right. How we're viewing the political process of countries looking at each other and political parties staring at each other. But you got to get the perspective and the mindset. Why? You got to understand that. World history, Western civilization to a point. Even Eastern civilization to a point. You got to understand civilization to a point. It's broad, it's complex, it's full of nuances, it's full of stuff. A lot of stuff. It'll take more than a lifetime for a guy to understand it all. But just to get a gist of it scares the hell out of people because it's bigger than any of them. And it gets every single day, every single minute. It increases that. To where the next generations are looking at us and saying, oh my God, do we have to study that much? Yeah. It gets worse and worse. I'm stuck in my particular time period over here. I can only go back as far as I can. I can't go into the future unless I'm going to be aging it one day at a time. And I'm seeing all the differences being added into this damn long train here. And it does mean a damn thing. Not this damn white power crap. Not this frickin' head game crap. We gotta preserve. It must be preserved. Why? How dare you say that to us? Who the hell you think you are? I'm looking at a megalomaniac, egomaniac that doesn't give a shit about anything else but his own mental status. And he thinks he owns the universe. Yeah! I'm saying that to all the idiots who have that kind of power trip. Bring it on, asshole. Oh, I'm sorry. That's too polite a term. Schmuck is better for you then.